Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really brilliant framework that tackles one of the most frustrating things in modern software development. We're looking at Mahmoud Zalt's handbook on how to Vibecode production-ready software using AI. Now, if you've ever used AI to write code, you already know the magic of getting a prototype running in no time. But taking it from a fun weekend project to a reliable, scalable product, well, that's a completely different beast. So let's get into how you actually cross that gap. Okay, let's dive right into this incredibly relatable problem. Literally anyone can get an AI to build a simple app in an afternoon. That's the easy part. But keeping it alive a month later, when real users are clicking buttons and hitting all sorts of weird edge cases, that requires a robust system. Think of the app as a car. We get so obsessed with generating the car that we totally forget we need to build the factory. The automated, reliable system that builds, tests, and maintains that car over time. And that perfectly captures our core philosophy for today. You direct it, you don't outcode it. When you vibe code, you're not trying to type faster than the AI or memorize every single line it spits out. Instead, you're acting as a senior developer. You are directing a tireless, eager, but let's be honest, occasionally wrong AI junior developer. Your job is the judgment. The AI's job is the typing. Here's our blueprint for today. We're going to walk through the 15 stages of the software lifecycle, starting with the car versus factory mindset, then moving through blueprinting, construction, reinforcement, delivery, and finally becoming a vibe coder.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the car versus the factory.
So the true edge in modern software engineering, it actually isn't the raw code itself. It's the automated factory you build around it. That factory lives right inside your code base, kind of like an operating system for a one-person company. It ships your app, monitors the users, and even fixes safe bugs on its own, only pausing for your final approval when it comes to big architectural changes. Moving on to Section 2, Blueprint, Planning and Setup.
These first 5 stages are all about building your AI's operating system. You start by planning out a really clear, testable spec and setting up your tools and tech stack. From there, you automate a unified control center for the AI agent, learn to inspect its code diffs so you can properly supervise it, and finally, architect modular layers. That way, the AI can build out new components safely without suddenly breaking your existing features.
To put that into perspective, just look at this timeline. Because you established a solid blueprint, your unified AI operating system can act as this amazing continuous loop. At 0 hours, the AI just claims a ticket. Minutes later, it's building features and running automated tests. It handles all the mundane work and the safe bugs, only pausing for your executive judgment, your senior level yes, before shipping to production that very same day.
Which brings us to Section 3, construction, building, and testing.
During active construction, you build by prompting the AI in small, manageable increments and amplify things by integrating AI workflows directly into your product. When things inevitably go wrong, you debug by reading stack traces rather than getting caught in endless prompt loops. And most importantly, you test. Using continuous integration and test-driven development automatically checks for breaks and catches those moments where the AI confidently hallucinates a completely wrong answer. Now, you definitely don't need to memorize every single line of code, but you absolutely must have that architectural picture in your head. You have to know when the AI is taking a fragile shortcut. Make sure to feed your AI only the relevant context to keep it focused and save on tokens. And here's a golden rule. Never, ever ship code you don't understand, and keep those tests green before every single deployment. Next up is Section 4. Reinforcement, security, and protection. To make your app truly solid, you first have to harden it so background failures don't just crash the whole user experience. Then, you secure it by thoroughly validating external inputs and locking your digital doors. And finally, you protect it by encrypting user data and actively anonymizing your system logs. And honestly, this is exactly why your human judgment is entirely irreplaceable. Listen, AI writes working code. It does not inherently write safe code. Security is that requirement nobody asks for until your weekend prototype collapses in production and exposes user data at 2 in the morning. It is entirely up to you to ensure your AI runs thorough audits, that you never commit secrets to your repository, and that all sensitive data is properly encrypted. You are the final safeguard here. Let's look at Section 5, Delivery, Shipping, and Scaling.
For these final stages, you ship by using infrastructure as code, which completely removes human error by automating your deployment scripts. Then you operate by setting up monitors and observability to catch breaks before your users ever see them. This setup allows you to easily scale, measure performance, and fix bottlenecks as your traffic inevitably surges. When you're dealing with massive growth, scaling the database is usually where you hit a brick wall. That's why your factory has to be designed from the start to scale horizontally. That means adding more machines and keeping data stateless, so no single server holds unique user session data, rather than just crossing your fingers and buying a more expensive server. Finally, Section 6, Becoming a Vibecoder. The author of this handbook, Mahmoud Zalt, actually poured 16 years of production engineering experience into these 15 stages. This isn't just theory, guys. He used this exact step-by-step playbook to build platforms like Sestava from a raw concept to a fully launched production system in just 3 months. That is the incredible power of building the factory, not just the car. We've covered the high-level roadmap today, but to truly master these 15 stages, I highly recommend checking out Mahmoud Zalt's full handbook at zalt.me. That's where you can really dig into the exact mechanics, specific prompts, and agent configurations you'll need. So, as you open your code editor today, ask yourself a critical question. Are you just prompting a quick, fragile prototype that's going to break in a month? Or are you ready to step into the director's chair, leverage these 15 stages, and engineer a system that truly lasts? The choice is absolutely yours. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy building.